young people. Wow, this one's a tough one because I see a lot of different things in different ways on this. So I'm probably going to piss off the people that like cops. I'll probably piss off the people that hate cops. And I'll probably piss off the mom of this suspect. But this is where an officer was stabbed to death, got it on his body cam, and he was stabbed by this guy. So this might take a while because there's a lot of stuff going on. Here we go. Okay, real quick, try to recap this from the start. The officer approach was unsafe. The officer is being played the total victim here. I want to know how many times he's victimized his community in the 2 years he was a cop, how many tickets he's written, etc. This guy walked up to this guy very tactically unsound, and that's why he's dead. Suspect, crazy guy, according to his mom, good kid, just crazy, and there's all kind of sides, but let's walk through this here.
29. When Las Cruces police officer Jonah Hernandez was responding to a trespassing call by the owner of the property on the 300 block of South Valley Drive. There has been a history of trespassing, vandalism, starting fires, erratic behavior.
All right, so this video is used on a Fair Use Act for education and critique. You notice how they're saying this property has been known for needles, crime. That's every freaking property in the United States. You know, they used to say high crime area, and I used to use that in my terms all the time because the courts have ruled in high crime areas, officers can do other things that they can't do in a non-high crime area, which means, you know, rich areas where they have private security and gates. So this terminology just, it gets old after a while because it's a total setup to make it seem like anything is justified. I can do more force and damage and point my guns and prone everybody out in a high crime area, and I couldn't do that per se in a non-high crime area.
Behavior and people leaving needles on that property. The suspect was...
So that sets the tone. This is a very dangerous area anyway. Whatever.
Confronted by the property owner the day before and asked or told to leave. The investigation has revealed that when Officer Hernandez arrived at the scene, the suspect, Armando Silva, 29, immediately attacked him with a large kitchen knife. After stabbing Officer Hernandez, Silva, a man with a history of crimes and mental illness, tried attack...
So this was done by a video leak dude. I don't like him. I've had a beef with him. He's kind of a little suck butt to the cops. He never plays anything that the cops ever did wrong. So when I use this video, he cries and tries to cause problems. So I don't really like the guy, but I got to give him credit. On this video, I think he did a pretty good job, but he totally one-sided it.
Attacking a bystander who witnessed the unprovoked attack on Hernandez. That witness retrieved his own firearm, shot and killed Silva.
Okay, here's where it gets very interesting. A citizen puts himself in jeopardy and goes and tries to save this officer's life after officer got his ass whooped by a dude with a knife because of his lack of tactics. From what I'm reading, he ends up killing this guy. And he didn't give an interview. He gave a private statement. And what they don't say, which I find very suspicious, is that the gun owner used a gun he legally purchased and was legally authorized to possess. You will not hear that. My guess is the guy wasn't supposed to have a gun and the gun wasn't legally purchased, but government doesn't care because he shot a guy that killed a cop. I think that's bullshit. I think everybody ought to have a gun. I don't think it ought to be this unlawful bullshit. I'm not saying that government should go after him. I'm just saying government goes after gun owners all the time, unless and until it benefits the blue line, and then all of a sudden government wants to look the other way. That's what pisses me off about this incident, but whatever. That's the way it is.
Another witness then utilized Hernandez's radio to call for help.
All right, let's get to the cop showing up here. Here's the cop. So from a cop's perspective, you get to a scene, you're by yourself, this is a big parking lot, you got a crazy guy, and the cop climbs over the fence to enter the property. Right there, that's a clue. If it was the property owner, he should have called the guy over to him. Hey, are you the owner? No. Instead, he climbs over the fence and he walks up in which I commonly refer to as lunging distance, which is the most dangerous place to be as a cop, or it's dangerous to even be in a cop's lunging distance if you're a citizen nowadays, because they will shoot and beat the shit out of you for no reason. So I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for cops anymore. And I know some blue line's going to be here. Man, this guy, hey, shut up. I was a cop for 30 years. And the cops today are not the cops that I used to be in, that I used to work with. You're all freaking thugs that hate America, follow unlawful orders, and you go around and victimize the citizens in the name of protecting your blue line bullshit officer safety. Bunch of pussies, all of you. But anyway, I digress. Here we go. Nonchalant, walking over here like there's no problem. Now, he's only been a cop for 2 years. It usually takes a few years to get more street savvy, but this guy is not street savvy in my opinion.
How's it going, boss?
So when you're approaching somebody as a cop and they immediately jump up like this dude did, watch this response of this guy. Sitting down, we call this a clue for all you cops over here who want to talk shit about how great you are and how dangerous the job is. We call this a clue when you're approaching a guy and he jumps up almost in a fighting stance or challenging stance before you even get close to him. Boom. Is that not a clue? I mean, Ray Charles saw that shit coming. This dude is a no person, aggressive. This is not the property owner. And this cop is approaching this kind of like, oh, you know, I'll just go here and be tolerant and accepting and you know, I don't have it's not like I'm writing a little old lady a ticket and she'll just show up in court and I can be a dick and take money out of her pocket all the time. No, let's approach this guy like, you know, he's one of my people. Whatever.
How's it going, boss?
Suspect immediately crosses his arms in front of his body. Basic body language 101. This guy's a no person. He's defensive. He's like, this is my space. Don't approach me. The signs are just glaring here that this cop should have went, I'm going to create some distance and see how compliant this guy is.
You been staying here for a while?
And the cop continues to walk with a guy standing like this with no regard for his safety. I know the blue line's going to be upset. Rick, you can't talk about a cop. He's dead. You should be respectful. I'm not disrespecting the guy. I'm saying he made a mistake, and that's probably why he's freaking dead. And if you learn from his mistakes, maybe you won't be dead. Frankly, I don't give a shit if you cops don't learn, because you're out there victimizing every damn body anyway, so I don't really give a shit. But for the regular citizen, if you're dealing with people, you might want to pay attention.
This is your place? So you're the one who called? You're the one.
So, hands in his pocket, very nonchalant, even after the body language and threatening and defensive of this guy. He could have stopped right here and continued his conversation. He could have kept a belated response. He could have seen that this guy was going to charge him. Hey, dude, why don't you show me your hands? What's in the bag? I got to recall your trespass. This cop didn't do any of this because he's cool and confident. He's got the blue line. He's been living his whole life watching freaking cops on TV, thinking that all I got to do is get on the radio and say, officer needs assist, and I'll have 50 officers here, and I'm tough, and nobody will hurt me because most citizens are scared of us because we beat the shit out of all of them, and therefore they always comply. So he's got what we used to call in the cops world as a Superman syndrome.
The one who called?
Walks right up to the dude. Dumb. The suspect takes a step toward him. So first he jumps up, then he crosses his arms, and now he's approaching the officer as the officer is approaching him. All huge signs.
You're the one who called? You're the one who called? I didn't call. Huh?
Officer, continue to approach, hands in the pocket. Guy reaches down, he's pulling a knife now. Cop still got his hands in his pocket. Nobody wants to say this. because we got to back the blue. We got to make everybody think the blue is really good and they never make mistakes. And if they die, we have to lie and manipulate everybody and tell them that he was a hero and that he died for the community. And he died because he made some tactical errors. There goes the knife, and he's totally unprepared. You always hear cops shooting people at freaking, 500 feet away, and they go 21-foot rule. So the Tula rule, a guy did a study, and I've talked about this before. If you get within 21 feet of a guy and your gun's in your holster, the odds of you surviving before he can jump on you and stab you is slim to none, is slim left town. So you don't want to get within 100 or 21 feet with a person with your gun in your holster and your hands in your pocket, walking around like you're out for a freaking Sunday freaking ice cream trip like Joe Biden, up to a suspect in this high crime area where needles and people have been using drugs, and you've got a trespassing call from a guy who's asked a guy to leave twice. You just don't want to do that unless you want to get jumped and stabbed. Step to him. Reaching. Cop still hands in his pocket. Guy pulls out a knife. Cop still got his hands in his pocket and is still walking forward as the guy is walking forward. So, for those that don't know, this is probably less than 21 feet. And the cop is in a bad position. And he fucked up. Rick, you can't say that. You were a cop and you're supposed to back the blue and you just hate cops because the cops left. Would shut up with all that stupid shit. Okay, another error of the cop. He turned his back and ran. Not a good move. Okay, when you run from a predator, the predator will chase you and attack you with your back to them. Ask any gazelle when they meet up with a freaking lion, tiger, puma, whatever. Okay? If you run, they will chase you. But Rick, he's so used to having 50 people and he could have called for backup. And the blue line, they have a lot of training, Rick, and that's why they need to shoot. I'll have cops here saying that's why we need to shoot more people quicker. I guarantee you there are cops using this video. This is why you got to shoot people quicker. Whatever. So as he tackles this guy, this is a pretty huge knife he's got. This is a large freaking knife. I don't know where he pulled it from. They're not saying, I can't really tell if he pulled it from his sleeve or from his waist. Where was the handle? Why didn't the cops see the handle? Just huge tactical errors. Sorry, boys in blue. You're not all perfect like you keep telling each other. Okay, multiple stab wounds, a lot of blood. Hey, that's what happens in stabbing. I'm surprised the guy was able to hang on to the handle. In most stabbing cases, the suspect cuts his own hand because when it gets bloody, blood is slippery, and when he stabs, his hand slides off the handle and slides down the blade and cuts himself. That's normally how we find extra DNA from the suspect if the suspect got away, because he ends up cutting his own hand and we find his DNA. But anyway, this guy dies anyway, so there's no case to solve. Officer's able to stand up, which is kind of surprising because when you see the guy approach, I'm pretty sure he got him in the neck and the jugular because the guy that comes over to help him has blood spraying on him. So this officer is cut for a while from before the guy gets to him, and by the time the so-called good citizen now, normally he's a freaking crazy patriot in one of those domestic terrorist gangs because he has a gun and only cops should have guns. Ask any cops and only they should have guns. But when they save or try to save a cop's life, suddenly it's okay. Now he's a good citizen. I'm so tired of the blue line bullshit.
Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you? Huh? Fucking not even real, huh? You're not even real. Fuck you. Want to go down too, bitch? So
this guy, the good citizen, we'll call him. Normally, I would call him an evil domestic terrorist with a gun. But the good citizen in this case challenges this dude. And the guy goes, hey, you want to go down too? The citizen shoots him.
What?
You notice it took 3 shots for the guy to fall. You see the shadow of the guy walking. You hear the first shot and he's still standing. Guy doesn't go down. He's still approaching you. This is, if the guy would have ran at him, he might have got to him before he could. So this good citizen risked his life with no immunity, with no free medical, with no pension, for the blue line that would write him a ticket, arrest him, slam him on the ground, arrest him for trying to take his kid to a park during COVID. This blue line would beat the shit out of this guy because he's got a gun, because he doesn't have a gun, arrest him, ruin his life, arrest him for going into the Capitol. This blue line would have done all this shit to this good citizen who just risked his entire life, livelihood, and possibly going to prison to help the blue line. I'm telling you, people, you better stop helping government, because they are not your friend and they are not going to help you. They will abuse you at the first chance, and you idiots keep supporting them instead of getting them in check and saying you need to start treating citizens better if you want us to freaking give a shit about you. But that ain't going to happen. Anyway, 3 shots before the guy goes down. First shot, he's still standing, still approaching the guy. Third shot, suspect goes down. Notice the untrained, crazy conspiracy patriot, constitutional loving, free American. Oh, I'm sorry. The good citizen stopped firing when the suspect fell. He's got more fire discipline than most cops. He didn't do a mag dump, spray and pray the entire neighborhood. If there'd have been 3 cops there, all this shit would have been full of bullet holes and all the cops would have done mag dumps. Because they're the blue line. They're trained, Rick. We should trust them. We should give up our guns so only cops have guns, because they'll protect us. They can't even protect themselves. So the guy must have got up because he fired another round. I can't really hear what he's saying. Oh, so the citizen with no training says, drop it, drop it. He gives the guy a chance to drop it. A lot more than most cops would do. So here's the pesky citizen with a gun that the cops will be beating his ass. Not to mention, you get a call of an officer down and you have these cops nowadays showing up who are out of control, emotional wrecks, freaking quota hires, no training, they don't give a shit, they got immunity. You have a gun and you have a cop bleeding on the ground. I am dead serious when I say I am surprised they didn't show up and shoot the shit out of the guys trying to help. Because if you help an officer nowadays, you literally take your life in your hands that they will freaking kill you, because they have no judgment or restraint when they show up, because they are unaccountable and they will kill and shoot everything in sight. Welcome to today's law enforcement that you idiots keep running around back to blue. I think he yells, call 911.
Hey, where are you bleeding? Oh, shit.
Yeah, not only does that, if this cop is just stabbed and he's out of it, this cop's last act of survival could have been, I'm going to get my gun out in case this guy comes back, and in a confusion or blood in his eyes, he could have killed the guy trying to help him. Rick, why are you telling people not to? I'm telling you, it is freaking dangerous. Even as a cop, when I showed up to officer-involved shooting, we would have to approach them, making sure that they know we're a cop. And sometimes they were so locked on a threat, we would have to literally grab their hand and gun and go, hey, tap them on the shoulder. Dude, relax. It's me. Put your gun down. Because they go into this shock. So when you help and you run in, you literally could be getting killed for what?
Shit.
All right, so this is body cam.
How's it going?
Okay, so as I'm walking up here in this high crime area, guns, needle, etc., I don't know if there's multiple people, 2 people, 3 people. I'm walking in an area that's more hidden and has less places for me to have an escape route. In this parking lot, I'm in the open here. I've got some control. I can evaluate whether the suspect is compliant or not. I can say, hey, dude, Can you come here away from your bag, move him away from the threats, and have him walk to me? That's what I think reasonable street-savvy cops do. You don't even have to be what I would consider a great experienced officer to know. You try and get the guy to move away from threatening, concealed, enclosed area, home turf, home advantage, whatever you want to call it. That's basic tactics. No, Rick, you got to back the blue. You can't say that he's a hero because he died in the line of duty. Okay, great. Then die in the line of duty and all be heroes. I don't give a shit.
Come on, boss. You been staying here for a while?
Let's not forget that 200 officers that were armed let kids get killed in Uvalde, Texas, while they hid in the hallway like freaking pussies. Let's not forget that blue line stain that nobody wants to talk about. One of the many.
What's up? Is this your place? So you're the one who called? You're the one who called?
Too many people, looks like a tent, could be a homeless encampment, could be an ambush. This cop's tactics sucked. I say sucked because he's not around anymore, but they sucked. Sorry, dude.
I didn't call. Huh? I didn't call nobody.
Okay, so now I'm going to be able to see where this knife come from. Oh, so he already had it in his hand covered, it looks like. Is that the blade sticking out here? How did the cop not see a freaking knife? I cannot tell. No, I still can't tell. But the cop is way too close, and he walked into this ambush willingly. And quite stupidly, if you ask me. Now look, I'm normally a guy who backs good over evil, and if your intent is do good and the other person is evil, I always take the side of the person trying to do good. Normally, I would say cops are trying to do good when they show up, but nowadays I just don't. I'm sorry. Cops are freaking the most tyrannical, unpredictable, out of control, shooting, spraying, and praying, killing people. I just can't even take that stand. Normally, I'd say this cop is out here doing a job. He's getting paid. He's working for the community. He's out there confronting this guy. He's risking his life. He's not really out there doing crime or doing anything bad. I don't say that for cops anymore because they literally go out and just try to victimize the public. They want to justify their jobs, their pensions, more cops. They want to get stats, and they do it all at ruining lives of people out there just trying to be free and make a living. And I'm so tired of it. I can't even say that now. It freaking sucks.
Get the fuck out of here. The fuck are you? Huh?
So the suspect, obviously crazy, says, "Who the fuck are you?" The guy's in uniform. He walks up. He pulls up in a police car. I don't really remember whether the guy said, "I'm a police officer" or not, but doesn't matter.
You're not even real. Fuck you. Want to go down too, bitch?
You want to go down too, bitch? Oh, here's some handcuffs out here. I don't know how they handcuffs. Did the cop go for his handcuffs? I don't know. Maybe he panicked. I don't know.
What?
Okay, so we already heard this.
Officer, hey, where are you bleeding?
So this guy doesn't say, as a citizen, if you approach somebody and try to help them, you want to let them know you're there to help. You're not the bad guy. Again, shock, disorientation, confusion, trauma. This guy, the officer's in fight or flight. He's now bleeding because he's lost so much blood he probably can't do much. But all these things, you need to make sure and identify yourself as a friend and not here to hurt.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so first thing they teach you in the military and in police work, if you show up to scene and a guy's shot at, is you don't want to overreact to the injuries because then that kind of takes away and it puts more fear in the person bleeding. So if you're ever hurt and a guy walks up and goes, "Holy fuck, he's fucked up, he's going to die," that's not really good medical assistance. you're probably going to put the guy more in a shock, cause more panic. His heart rate's going to go up, and he's going to pump more blood. You want to tell him he's going to be okay. Try to calm it. Hey, dude, I'm going to stop the bleeding. Stay with me. Try to control your breathing. That would have been a better response. I'm not cracking on the guy that tried to help him, but I'm just saying you learn from these.
Hey, stay with me.
Okay, this guy has blood splatter all on him. This has got to be a cut artery or something. Has the heart's pumping, it's squirting blood. Otherwise, this guy wouldn't have blood splattered all over him. I even think he's got some on his face.
Stay with me. Hey, sir.
So it sounds like he was stabbed in the neck pretty bad. And, you know, if you got a jugular vein and you're bleeding out, it's very hard to stop that bleeding. So, I mean, I think this officer was probably dead as soon as he got stabbed in the neck. It just took a while for him to die.
Officer. Hey.
So this guy, remember, this guy just pulled a gun, shot somebody. His whole life's flashing. He doesn't know if he's going to be shot by the cops. He doesn't know if he's going to prison. He doesn't know if this is going to be justified. He doesn't know if some left-wing DA who hates guns is going to charge him now and go to prison. He put his wife, his family, his whole life in jeopardy for a guy that would victimize him in a second in today's age, the way cops treat people.
Fuck. Yeah, I shot him like 3 or 4 times. He's stabbed in the neck really bad. Where's the radio? Right here. Okay.
So this guy who comes here and who's talking in the background and asks for the radio, I think he says, I'm a former cop. If he's a former cop, he does a really shitty job about putting out information. But here we go.
Shit. No. Civilian Cruces BD?
No, he's bleeding really bad. He was stabbed in the neck.
Brother, please stay with us, man. Hey, stay with us, man. Shit. I need his radio, man. Fuck. He's got really bad right in the neck, right where my hand is. Officer down. Where are we at?
Okay, so he doesn't know where we're at. He says officer down. I get it. Officer down is a good key. If you're involved in this, if you decide to get involved in something like this, you want to say, officer down, there's no suspects, we're trying to give aid to the officer, we need an ambulance and cops. Now, granted, I've done this, so I'm a little bit more, and it's easy. Somebody's going to say, it's easy for you, man, you didn't just shoot somebody. I get it, it's high stress. I'm just telling you, if you can think before, you want more information for the responding cops. They will show up and kill everybody. If you just say officer down, they don't know if a suspect is down. They don't know if there's multiple suspects. They don't know if there's a guy with a gun hiding that they're going to get sniped. They're going to come in hot, wild, and crazy unless you give them information. Hey, suspect is down. The officer is down. We need an ambulance. We have citizens here who are trying to give aid. That will maybe stop some cops from just coming there and killing everybody like they do at most scenes.
Valley and Amador? At the Tip Top Trailer Sock?
Tip Top Trailer.
Hey.
Officer down.
Fuck. Stay awake. Stay with us, man. Stay with us.
Turn him on his side, brother, because he's choking in his blood. Turn him on his side.
Okay. Will you help me turn him on?
See, this guy who's giving aid isn't fully functional because he just shot and killed somebody. So his mind, and his girlfriend's with him, because his girlfriend, he says something about his girlfriend was with him, or she hollers, or I hear say that's his girlfriend. So he's got his girlfriend. Now he's in the middle. He's covered with blood. He just shot somebody. Now an officer's about to die. And this other guy comes up and starts telling him, roll him over and do stuff. I'm not saying it's a perfect situation. I'm just saying these things are chaotic and people do shit and shit happens.
I got pressure on his neck.
I got you. Hang in there, brother. Please hang in there.
Oh my God, his head.
Fuck, I'm gonna get this.
I saw him attack him, and I just grabbed my gun and I ran over here.
Brother, please stay with us, man.
Stay with us, man.
I'm a former cop. I made it. You can make it too. Officer down.
I think there's another wound on the back of his head.
So this guy says, I'm a former cop, officer down. That's all he's saying. It's, again, another bad example of a prior cop who isn't that smart. Shocking.
Amador and Valley, officer down. Bailey and Amador.
I see him.
Right here, right here, right here. To your right, to your right, to your right. Shit.
Now, most dispatchers know, hey, we just sent an officer to this area. When you give this location, most cops know, hey, it's probably officer so-and-so. Some officers, their radios in larger cities, when your radio goes vertical, it will send off an alarm that you're down. There's a panic button, which I've hit sometimes accident because it just happens in a fight. But there's a panic button on top of the radio. If an officer presses and holds it, it can send out an emergency beacon that he's down and to give his identifier. And then they'll check his location either by GPS on his car or on the last call he was on.
Stay with us, man. You're gonna be okay. I've got you, all right?
Okay, so now the guy's kind of calming down. Now he's reassuring the officers. This is what he should be doing, which is good.
We got officers en route.
Hey, there's a big...
See, the ambulance will not come in until they say the scene's secure, roll the ambulance. They may not even stage. They may have not called. When they go officer down, that could mean he got in a fight and he was knocked out, or he's fighting with somebody and he's trying to handcuff him. So they didn't say, there's not enough information for them to say, hey, again, I'm not trying to dog on these people, but if I was there, I'd say, look, the officer stabbed neck, got a critical room. I need the ambulance to respond now. The suspect is down. There are no outstanding suspect. The scene is secure. Roll the ambulance into the area now. That way you give enough information. Granted, these guys don't know this. I'm not cracking on them. I'm just saying if you get in a situation, more information is better.
Ash in the back of his head. Hey, it's okay, man. Go back.
Who's your boyfriend? He's your boyfriend.
Go back to the car.
So now the cop goes into, I'm in control. I'm a former cop. Now he's back to being a cop. Oh, this your boyfriend? Go back to your car. He starts controlling people and starts yelling orders. Perfect.
His neck. I've got pressure on
Put
his
him on his
neck.
side. Put him on his side.
He's got lacerations on the side of his neck.
All right, so I think that's it.
Officer Hernandez was transported to Mountain View Regional Medical Center, where he succumbed to his injuries. Hernandez served as a Las Cruces Police Department officer since June 2022.
Okay, so, like I said, he does a pretty good job on promoting how great the officer was, and he died in the line of duty, and they show all these great pictures, and I'm sure the mother of the suspect, if they had somebody doing a video, they could probably get nice pictures of him and all his I don't know what the hell this was, but like I said, now he's got a Sturgis shirt on, so he's probably a motorcycle rider, unless he was there undercover trying to arrest people for not wearing a helmet, getting some ticket stats. Let's see here. He shows the long motorcade of all the cops and the firemen. It's funny when government is paying people to show up to a funeral, how many people show up to a funeral. See, the public looks at this, and I used to look at this way too, is, oh, how nice. Look at the camaraderie. Look at the unity. Oh, he died for the community. I don't look at that shit anymore. I'm like, you know what? All these motherfuckers who are getting paid, cops now and firemen that are running around killing people because they're driving the freaking banana peels on the highway. I don't have no trust in government. I don't give a shit about all this pretty shit and unity and all. They don't do that for the citizens. They don't do that for the people paying taxes that pay for all this shit. They just get the pensions, the money, and then they steal shit on the citizens every chance they get. So, sorry, I am freaking done with the blue line government love fest. So they go into the guy, the good citizen who showed up, released a letter through his attorney. And in the letter, it says some things that I'm kind of like, I saw an individual who was attacking the officer. I made a decision that I was going to try and stop. The letter, if you listen to this, really says a lot that the attorney was trying to protect his client. If this was a client who had a concealed permit and was legally authorized, the letter would say, my client retrieved his legally possessed firearm, which he had a permit to carry, and he saved the officer's life and felt threatened for himself. that the letter is worded in a way that I think the guy wasn't supposed to have the gun. He wasn't allowed to have the gun. But government overlooked it to help him so he doesn't get sued by the family. And they weren't pursuing criminal charges because he helped the blue line. So now he's part of the government. He's kind of like what we would call a snitch in the world. If you watch The Colony, the series The Colony, where they always help the government, you always get special privileges if you become a traitor to the regular people and you suddenly become a friend of government. Government will give you extra benefits, and then they will shit on you later, but at the moment, they'll make you think you're their friend. All right, long video, sorry. A lot of shit here. I forgot. I think he just reads the letter. I don't know what else if they show the suspect. All right, we'll end it there. Y'all have a good day. I know I'm going to get some hate, and everybody will be blaming me, and it's my fault that people don't like cops. It's your dumbass blue line protecting your blue line criminals and treating citizens like shit is why people don't like cops. It's not because I do videos on you cops being tyrannical. Sorry, you got it wrong, blue line. All right, we'll end it there.